Wendy, it was a couple of days ago now that the National Consumer Commission put out a warning to consumers to be very wary of dealing with a particular online store. And I saw that email come through and my ears pricked up because our listener Tony had emailed me about them just a couple of days before that. They're called Manika, Manicaa, and the site claims to sell everything from kitchen appliances and electronics to designer perfumes and shoes, even car tires. I use the words claims to because it would seem a lot of buyers are simply never getting the goods they paid for, Wendy.
Yeah, well, exactly. And that's the problem. The Commission said it's received several complaints from consumers alleging that they had purchased goods from Manika and did not receive them. And of course, the Consumer Goods and Services Ombudsman was also inundated with complaints. According to the Commission, others alleged that they either received incorrect items, incomplete orders, or defective goods with no assistance from the supplier. So in some cases, people did actually get their orders, but in the many complaints that I've had in the past, going on 2 years, they were all the same. Didn't get what they had ordered, strung along, supplier problems, etc. And then the promised refund never happened. The Commission said when it was trying to investigate the complaints, it had a snag as the company proved to be untraceable. Acting National Consumer Commissioner Tezi Mabuza said the physical address on Manika's website claimed that it was operating from Midrand, but the map on the Contact Us page suggests that Manika was actually based in Canada. She said the Commission's preliminary findings indicate that Manika is a scam run by Webster Kutsawa and Clara Kutsawa. We advise consumers not to transact with Manika or these individuals. So very clear. They don't often issue these warnings. It's usually the Ombuds office that does. But of course, the complaints in my inbox and on complaints website Hello Peter go back to early 2020. So this has been 3 years, going on 3 years now.
Okay, so I mean, as I mentioned, very recently our listener Tony was one of the victims. He wrote saying he'd ordered and paid for a doorbell on Manika 4 months ago. It had cost him 672 Rand and it simply never arrived. And Tony described in his email how he had tried to get a refund, just got nowhere. So I think that warning from the Consumer Commission dashed any hope that he had left that he would ever see that doorbell arrive. And as you said, Wendy, you've mentioned this before. You started getting complaints in May 2020. I think we covered previously the story of Liz, who was strung along with stories about, they'd had to change their supplier because of not being happy with the quality, and please be patient, we're a small family business, etc., etc. And the stuff just never materialized. And of course, had she gone on to Hello Peter, she would have seen over 1,000 posts complaining about this company dating back to February 2020. So Wendy, if one does the research, the writing's been on the wall for a good long time. The Advertising Regulatory Board actually looked into them last year as well, didn't they?
They did. They got 2 complaints from separate consumers. Both of them said the site was a hoax or a scam, as it deliberately misleads consumers, taking their money but not delivering their orders, and needed to be closed down. I think that was what they were really trying to achieve.
Yeah.
But of course, the ARB doesn't have the clout to pull down websites. They can just say this advertising is misleading. They gave Manika an opportunity to respond to the complaint, as they do, but they got no response. They said the directorate of the ARB said they can't adjudicate on the legitimacy of a registered company, but it did find that the adverts based on the complaints were misleading, along with Manika's promise, if you don't mind, of 100% purchase protection. At the time of that ruling, I wrote that it was unlikely to have any effect on the operation. And of course, I was right. The website is still functional today, except, as I said, to act as yet another warning to those who do some online research before making a purchase. But clearly, as in so many cases, not enough people did that.
Yeah.
It's just a case of going onto the site or Googling something you really want, and this lovely, pretty picture comes up with a great price. And it's just like, yes, done, and then
money gone. Wendy, something interesting has happened though since the National Consumer Commission put out that cautionary statement last week, Thursday, I think it was. All of a sudden, somebody claiming to represent Manika is responding to complaints on Hello Peter, which never used to happen before.
No, I just saw that this morning. I thought, let me check, let me see what's going on. And going back, it's sort of mostly no response, except to the odd flattering review, which, as we know from many cases on Hello Peter, often when investigated turn out to be not genuine, self-generated, exactly. But suddenly I saw on I think it was the 31st of March, they started responding. So on this Monday, Darby M posted, still no delivery. I've emailed, phoned, etc., but still no feedback, no package received, as well as no refund. Ordered something in August 2022. It's now April 2023 and still no delivery. And the business's response was, "Hi, Darby. We sincerely apologize that you've still not yet received an order that was placed in August 2022 and for not being able to get hold of us. Can you please kindly give us your order number so that we can be able to check?" And another Manika complaint was responded to like this: "Yours sincerely, customer support, Kariba." So it does appear, as many have suggested, and certainly with a double A on the end of both of them, that those two companies are linked. And I have also warned about Kariba in the past.
Yes, you have.
And that website, Kariba's as well as Manika's, is still active.
Okay, so tread with caution. Yeah, somebody's just WhatsApped to say, I nearly got caught by Manika on a rare battery charger. I was surprised they had it in stock and it seemed so cheap. Surely a criminal fraud case can be brought by the individuals who've been duped. Wendy, I mean, it's an interesting one. So like, you look at Tony's example. He's spent 670 odd rand on a doorbell, which is probably never going to arrive. It's a relatively small sum of money, and if you compare that to the cost of hiring a lawyer to bring a lawsuit against them, it's a sum that I think most people are going to go, oh, it's just not worth it. I've been burned and I've got to walk away from it. It would take somebody with an appetite, I guess, for a sort of a class action suit with lots of small losses to take them on, and even then, where do you find them?
Or the Hawks should get involved, bring it down, forbid the company that's hosting the site to do it. It would be nice to see that kind of enforcement, but it just simply doesn't happen in these cases. There are too many of these companies doing this. And so I think the only thing that will stop this, if not stop it, cut down the number of victims, is for people to just take the simple advice. And that comment is very telling. It was a rare battery, but you couldn't find it anywhere else. That's often when you get caught. You can't find it from any legitimate place. So your Google search takes you onto a company that's willing to provide anything that you ask for at a great price, and so there goes your money with nothing to show for it. As I say, we could almost call this slot scam watch, scam talk, because it's just too numerous for words, and the advice is always the same. Do your homework. Just a simple Google search will land you on an ARB ruling that's been written up by the likes of myself and others. You'll see all those Hello Peter entries. Just as I said, simple Google will take you to all those sites. And of course, we've got to mention in this context, the other one we've spoken about a lot was the Raru online shopping platform. There were a warning put out by the Consumer Goods and Services Ombud, but they were liquidated in January, so nobody's getting any money back. And those many of those products were quite high ticket items, lots of money spent, and again, the advice is, well, the Consumer Commission took the opportunity in warning about Manika to give the same old advice. It's very simple. As e-commerce changes the way consumers transact, consumers are urged to exercise extra caution as online scams are on the rise. Before transacting online, check reviews other than those on the website, of course. Analyze the overall look of the website, looking for discrepancies such as the physical address being stated as one thing, but the
map indicating another.
The map, yes, exactly. And most important of all, if the price is too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Always go with that. Don't be tempted to just try it. I mean, unless you're doing it in a gambling sense, where you're willing to put aside that 800 rand
to lose the 700 rand and take the chance, then you pay your money, you takes your chances, the saying goes. There's a rather amusing twist to the tale on what to do about it, though. Wendy Shane's just messaged me to say, with Manika, I ordered a book in September last year, and after all kinds of excuses regarding customs delays and promises of delivery, etc., I demanded a refund. I went around in circles on that for for a few weeks, but never underestimate the power of Wendy Knowler's name. After I threatened them with the Consumer Act and citing that I would complain to Wendy, I got my refund within 10 days. It could be pure luck, says Shane, but I did get my money back.
Well, I love to help without actually doing a thing. That's
easiest
good to
thing
know.
for you, Wendy, just to have your name claimed.
Okay.
But okay, that's it's encouraging, Shane, that at least you got your money back. At least somebody got their money back. But it sounds like you are one of the very lucky few who did. And as you said, Wendy, for the National Consumer Commission to go as far as issuing a statement red flagging a particular brand like this, it really tells you it gives you an indication of the volume of complaints they must be dealing with. Okay, so Google it, go on to Hello Peter, read the responses, read the quality of the brand's responses. Somebody else just saying on the WhatsApp line, if they are found to be fraudulent, how do banks still provide them with accounts and facilities to process these payments, Wendy?
It's a good question, and that's something else that the likes of the Hawks should be investigating, do all that stuff on our behalf. But I know from bitter experience that there isn't the sufficient manpower or will to do it. These scam online shopping sites are a dime a dozen, and we can't rely on that. Sadly, we have to protect ourselves. We have to do the checks. They take a couple of minutes, and if in doubt, don't do it. I think for me it boils down to people being far too trusting of what they see on a screen, and and believing that this is a legitimate company. Where if the same kind of thing happened, they wouldn't walk into a store in a dodgy part of town that looked kind of not
Suspect.
legitimate, looked like they might rip you off. They wouldn't risk it, but because it's online and it's lovely pictures on a screen, and let's do it because they've had good experiences with reputable companies. What can go wrong? Well,
a lot can go wrong.
So many examples have demonstrated, a lot. You lose your money.
Yeah. So I'm really sorry if you are in that boat. Again, it's 3 brands to be aware of. Firstly, for those asking about Raru and its link, Raru is now officially liquidated, so there is no chance there of getting any satisfaction on your orders. But Kariba is the other brand that seems to be sort of interchangeable with Manika. There seem to be a lot of overlapping similarities that suggest perhaps it's the same parties behind the sites. It's Manicaa and Karibaa. Please just do your homework before you place orders on these platforms, and do spread the word to your friends and families not to use those two. And that's not just Wendy Knowler saying so. That is an actual official legitimate statement from the National Consumer Commission.
Lunch with Pippa Hudson
on CapeTalk.